So, yeah, I was going to say actually one of the things in our business, I think I'm going in a little bit opposite direction, especially as I start to think about a sale potentially. Is number one, really decreasing Facebook ad spend. I don't know what's happened with Facebook, whether it's simply side effect of the new iOS tracking feature where Facebook is just not attributing sales correctly, but our CAC has been going way up, up, up over the last almost as soon as that new iOS update came around earlier in the year. And our ad costs with Facebook have been going crazy to the point where it's hard to actually justify using Facebook in our niche to advertise our products. And it frustrates the heck out of me because off-roading was very niche and defined audience. Facebook, where a lot of our audience is hanging out, and why can I not make those ads profitable? It frustrates me to no end. But I've tried now for 2 years to crack that nut and get it to a point where advertising to a cold audience on Facebook can be profitable. And I have not gotten it to that point. Remarketing to our list, yeah, it's still break even, even marginally profitable, but to a cold audience, 2 years now, really giving it a go. I haven't been able to crack that nut. So cutting back on the cold audience marketing on Facebook.
What I found from our years of spending over $1 million on Facebook ads is that the best products to sell on Facebook are the ones that can be compulsive.
Compulsive and compulsive.
Yeah, you see the ad, you're like, I need that. I need it right now, or I want that, right? And they stop with whoever's like looking stops what they're doing, and they go buy this $25 to $50 product, something in that range seems to be like the real sweet spot. And I think you can do very well there. I think that if you have a $250 truck tent, that's a much more difficult sell, because the product that can be like kind of like I just see it, I want it right now, has to be like, it has to have a wider appeal. Like even like when we were advertising coloring books, for instance, even though people probably already had plenty of coloring books and coloring supplies if they were into that niche, having another one that's different in some way, like would make someone just be like, okay, I want that one now too, and for $25 they'll just go buy it. Where someone that you're trying to advertise a rooftop truck tent to, and just
a truck
tent.
Lock your kids in the trunk.
Lock your kids in the trunk and go away. Reminds me of that funny joke of like if you lock your wife and your dog in the trunk, and when you open it, like who's going to be happy to see you? Oh man, such a silly joke. At any rate, it's much more difficult to get someone to buy that just on a whim because it's a more expensive product. They have to want to be going camping at that moment. They have to have a particular truck or Jeep or whatever that works with that. And certainly you can pick people who have those types of vehicles to advertise to.
Well, you can definitely do it very broadly, like Jeep lovers, but
right.
Trying to find like Ford F-150 lovers, that's even getting
tough.
More granular than I think Facebook can handle.
Yeah, and I mean there was definitely a time where more of those variables were available, but because of privacy stuff, they've started retracting a lot of it. I mean, the one that was successful for us was like some motherhood stuff that we were advertising to for Wild Baby that they pulled the plug on. And so, yeah, it's gotten more difficult. And some products, again, just do better than others. And the other thing, just real quick, and I know you wanted to say something, but just want to add in with one more thing. You also, I think, need a brand or a business that allows you to sell more than one thing to them. Because a lot of times...
So you can maximize lifetime value.
Exactly.
You can afford to pay more for the cost of sale than that first sale is going to cost you. Yeah,
exactly right.
Changer.
Yeah, and so we were able to, once we realized we had that magic with Color It, I didn't really think about that going into our first initial Facebook ads. Once I realized we had that, I mean, now my thought process was a lot different. Maybe instead of only being able to justify $5 to $7 per sale, now all of a sudden I can justify $25 per acquisition, because that would make me break even on that first order. But then I know I have them on my list, and my repeat purchase frequency is like ridiculous, which it was. That was an awesome thing. And so, I guess, you gotta be realistic. It's why we don't advertise ice wraps stuff on Facebook. It's why we don't advertise tactical stuff on Facebook. And why we don't advertise this new business. It's unfortunate because I love Facebook ads. I mean, it's made us wealthy. It's really, it's been amazing, but Again, you just got to adapt to what you're given, and not try to stick a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, I do think with Facebook, and I'll put this to the audience too, prove me wrong, but I shouldn't say almost always, but it helps a lot if you have a very female specific product, because number one, we know females more predominantly use social media than men. That's not a sexist thing. That's just stats. My family, my dad ran a direct mail business up until now, actually, for 30 years. Direct mail is almost always opened by the female of the household, and they are almost always making the purchase decision. And I think there's a lot of similarities there between direct mail and social media and gender. Again, I'll put it to the audience. Prove me wrong. Let me know of a product that you have that's male dominant that's doing well with Facebook ads. And I'm sure there are exceptions, but it definitely helps to have a very female focused product when it comes to having a successful product on Facebook.